We came to explore the moon, and what we discovered was the Earth. This photo, taken during the Apollo 8 mission, is one of the most famous pictures ever taken. The photo, called Earthrise, was taken by astronaut William Anders on December 24, 1968, who recently died in a plane crash. This video shows the extraordinary background story of the photo. To make this photo possible, a Nazi spy plane had to make an emergency landing over neutral territory. NASA engineers had to literally take apart a high-quality camera to reduce weight and make it astronaut-proof, and the astronauts on board Apollo 8 had to ignore their actual mission. Sounds too crazy to be true? Well, let's dive in. The Story of Hasselblad. The story of the Hasselblad company began in World War II, when the Swedish Air Force contacted Victor Hasselblad in 1940, wondering if he could replicate a reconnaissance camera, probably a Handkammer HK-12, that had been discovered in a downed German aircraft. Probably a modified Junkers Ju 86P2 or R1. It's said that Victor answered, "No, I cannot, but I can make you a better one." In 1957, the Hasselblad 500C entered the market. This was a model of exceptional quality. In the summer of 1962, Walter Schirra, who would soon become America's third man to orbit the Earth with his Mercury capsule Sigma 7, walked into a Houston photo supply shop looking for a camera he could take into space. He came out with a Hasselblad 500C and introduced it on his own initiative to NASA because the previous camera model delivered disappointing results. After buying a few 500Cs, a weight loss program was necessary, which included the removal of its leather covering, auxiliary shutter, reflex mirror, and viewfinder. Yes, you heard that right. The reflex mirror and viewfinder were removed. NASA would later use a modified Hasselblad 500C on 5 space missions before the Hasselblad company noticed. When pictures of Edward H. White making the US's first spacewalk were published worldwide, it became apparent that the pictures were taken with a Hasselblad camera. The little company in Gothenburg contacted NASA and offered to develop a space camera for them. NASA and Hasselblad entered an agreement, and their collaboration continued until 2003. Many of the most famous space photos are therefore associated with the Swedish company. Curiously, in August 1966, a Hasselblad camera became Sweden's first satellite. Astronaut Michael Collins lost hold of it during a spacewalk with his Hasselblad super-wide camera. Apollo 8. Apollo 8 was the first manned spacecraft to leave Earth's orbit, reach the Moon, orbit it 10 times, and return safely to Earth. This mission paved the way for the subsequent lunar landing of Apollo 11. Apollo 8 had to be accelerated because spy pictures from the Soviet Union revealed a large rocket with 4 stages, N1, ready for launch, and the Soviet Zond 5 had successfully orbited the Moon in September 1968, manned by 2 turtles, among others. The decision for the moon flight of Apollo 8 was made in August 1968, giving NASA only 4 months to prepare for this unprecedented mission. Originally, Apollo 8 was planned as a test flight for the lunar module in Earth orbit. However, due to delays in the lunar module's readiness, NASA made the bold decision to change the mission to a lunar orbit flight, making it the first manned mission to orbit the Moon. Furthermore, Apollo 8 was the first manned mission to use the Saturn V rocket, the most powerful rocket ever built at the time. The translunar injection was a critical maneuver that sent Apollo 8 from Earth orbit to the Moon. It was performed successfully, marking the first time humans traveled beyond Earth orbit. In addition, Apollo 8 was the first mission to use the new Mission Control Center at the Manned Spacecraft Center in Houston, Texas, now known as the Johnson Space Center. One of the mission's risks was passing through the Van Allen radiation belt. The crew experienced increased radiation levels, but it was within safe limits. Besides Commander Frank Borman and lunar module pilot William Anders, James Lovell was part of Apollo 8 as command module pilot. The mission was launched on December 21st, 1968 from Kennedy Space Center in Florida. On December 24th, 1968, the crew of Apollo 8 made a historic television broadcast from lunar orbit. During the broadcast, they read the first 10 verses from the book of Genesis in the Bible and wished everyone on Earth a Merry Christmas. This broadcast was watched by millions of people worldwide. The Apollo 8 astronauts were the first humans to see the far side of the Moon with their own eyes. this side of the moon is not visible from Earth. Earthrise. The photo was not part of the mission plan. The crew was initially focused on lunar surface photography when they noticed the Earth rising above the lunar horizon. Upon seeing the Earthrise, Frank Borman, the Apollo 8 commander, remarked, "Oh my God, look at that picture over there. Here's the Earth coming up. Wow, is that pretty?" The image was captured spontaneously as they realized its significance. Before Anders found a suitable color film, Mission Commander Frank Borman took a black and white photograph of the scene, with the Earth's terminator touching the horizon. The used film was a Kodak Special thin-based and thin emulsion double perforated 70mm film, which permitted 160 pictures in color or 200 in black and white in each loading. The photo was taken using a Hasselblad 500 EL camera with an 80mm lens. The exposure settings for the photo were 1/250th of a second at f11. The lenses were manufactured by the German company Zeiss, which also created the lenses for the space photography on the moon. Many of the preeminent achievements are thanks in large part to Dr. Erhard Glatzel and his team, Johannes Berger and Günther Lang. In the 1960s, he was one of the leading scientists and managers in the lens design department at Zeiss in Oberkochen, Germany. The lenses he designed were world famous, such as the Zeiss Hologon and the Zeiss Planar 0.750, which was developed in 1966 for use in very poor light. In honor of the accomplishment in designing special space lenses for the moon missions, Dr. Erhard Glatzel received the Apollo Achievement Award. Under his leadership, Zeiss developed more than 100 lens designs. Aftermath of the photo. The Earthrise photo was described by nature photographer Galen Rowell, 1940 to 2002, as the most influential environmental photograph ever taken. NASA's caption for the photo read, "View of Earth rising over the lunar horizon taken from the Apollo 8 spacecraft." The Earthrise photo has been widely reproduced in books, magazines, posters, and documentaries. It's become a symbol of global unity and the interconnectedness of all life on Earth. In 1969, the US Postal Service issued a stamp featuring the Earthrise photo with the caption, "In the beginning, God," to commemorate the Apollo 8 mission and its Christmas Eve broadcast. Closing words. Apollo 8 successfully re-entered Earth's atmosphere and splashed down in the Pacific Ocean on December 27, 1968. The crew was safely recovered by the USS Yorktown. The successful mission of Apollo 8 marked a significant lead for the United States in the space race, causing the Soviet Union to reassess its lunar program efforts. The Hasselblad company has been part of the Chinese drone manufacturer DJI since 2017. William Anders died in a plane crash in June 2024. Thank you for your attention. If you like this video, check out our other videos.